Coming up on the January 29th edition of Sports Extra, the tennis teams were serving up L's to their opponents this weekend.
It was a pack attack in overtime in the Dean Dome.
And one former Tar Heel was cornering the market at the Senior Bowl. All that and so much more, Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
Did you do anything good this week? Then you had a better week than the men's basketball team. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Abby Presley.
And I'm Natalie Harden. Even with those poor showings on the hardwood, it was still a successful week for a few Tar Heel teams. The men's and women's tennis team had a win this weekend to clinch trips to the ITA Nationals, making for high-pressure matches. And for more, we bring in tennis analyst Bailey Ingalls live from Conkin Field Tennis Center. Bailey, you have to love these two teams.
It was an exciting weekend for both Tar Heel squads, both teams looking for that ITA championship that eluded them last season. We'll start off with the men's squad who took on the Drake Bulldogs this weekend. Josh Peck and Benjamin Seguin got the Heels their first win of the day in the doubles competition, defeating Drake 6-4. Simon Sundergaard and Matt Kiger then clinched the doubles point for the Tar Heels with a 7-5 win. In the singles competition, Robert Kelly quickly secured the first point, winning 6-2 and 6-0 in the first two sets. To make it 3-0 in the Tar Heels' favor, Bo Boyden won both of his sets 6-2. And last but certainly not least, the number 2 singles player in the country, William Bloomberg, wrapped up the day winning both sets 6-3, leading the Tar Heels to a 4-0 victory on the day. Michigan snagged the doubles point with wins on both courts 1 and 2. At the start of singles, Bo Boyden tied it 1-1 in straight sets, but the Heels quickly made it 3-1, but a loss on court 1 by second-ranked Will Bloomberg drew the Wolverines to 3-2. Leave it to Simon Sundergaard on court 4 to get Carolina a 3-set win in the team dub. Final score, 4-2 Heels. Next up for Carolina is another Big Ten matchup when number 16 Illinois visits Sunday. And the squad looked to keep their winning streak alive in the ITA kickoff event this weekend as they took on Winthrop Friday afternoon. The doubles pairing of McKenna Jones and Marika Ackerman and Allie Sanford and Sarah Davatilla blanked the Eagles in their sets, 6-0. Then it was 18th ranked Jessie Aney's time to shine in the singles competition, taking both of her sets 6-1. Alexa Graham clinched the victory for the Tar Heels with a 6-2 win in each set. Carolina dominated Winthrop by an aggregate 4-0 score. Doubles ended up proving to be a tough battle for the Tar Heels against Illinois on Saturday, but Sarah Davatilla and Allie Sanford pulled out the first win, followed quickly by the tandem Marika Ackerman and McKenna Jones on court 3. After going up 1-0, Carolina continued to push for a shutout against Illinois with a series of single wins. Davatilla secured the first singles win for the Tar Heels, followed by wins from Alexa Graham and McKenna Jones, shutting out the Illini 4-0. The Tar Heels will advance to the ITA Indoor National Championship, which begins February 9th in Madison, Wisconsin. 5 seasons, there's only one team in the country that has finished top 5 in each of the ITA rankings consistently. That team's Carolina. Ashley Bates gives us her things to watch out for this season.
As the Tar Heels enter another season ranked in the top 5 in the country, here are some things for fans to watch. First is highly touted freshman Allie Sanford. The Heels have to replace Haley Carter, the only women's tennis player in ACC history to be named the Scholar Athlete of the Year, ACC Player of the Year, and Tournament Most Valuable Player.
Playing number 1 and not losing a match is hard to fill and replace. But one of our mottos is get 1% better every day, and that's how we got to focus on.
Second, after losing in the Elite 8 to Stanford last season, Carolina's women's tennis returned 8 veterans, which should certainly help with the Heels in their quest for the national title. Third, women's tennis head coach Brian Calvez currently holds the record for the most wins in ACC history. This season, Lady Tar Heels hope to keep this record intact. Freshman Allie Sanford says her coach is a big part of the Heels' success in recent years.
I took my visit, I committed on the spot. Hadn't really seen the campus, didn't know a lot about the school itself. Obviously got to know a lot about it later, but the first thing that sold me was the coach.
Lastly, make sure to watch for not only how well these women play, but how well they play together. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ashley Bates reporting.
Natalie, this squad this year is as talented as any team in the country. But after a disappointing loss in the ITA's last season to Florida, this team is looking for redemption. And I think you and I both know that Carolina teams have had some success with that motto. Back to you.
That's tennis analyst Bailey Ingalls live from Conkin Field Tennis Center. Thanks, Bailey.
But with the good comes the bad. Saturday was a rough one for Tar Heel fans as NC State came into the Dean Dome looking to steal a win. The Heels looked ready to drop 51 on State's head for the second year in a row, opening up on this Theo Pinson jam. But as the game played on, it was clear the Wolfpack wouldn't allow history to repeat. The Pack kept it tight in the first half despite fantastic play from Theo Pinson. Just look at this dime. Cam Johnson ended the half on this beautiful putback to beat the buzzer. The second half started off with NC State's Alaric Freeman scorching the Heels, hitting all 7 of his attempted threes. For the game, State shot an astounding 15 of 30 from the arc. Luke May and Pinson were instrumental in keeping the Heels afloat, with both dropping double-doubles, but the Heels needed more from their other stars. As the game dwindled down to its final seconds, Cam Johnson had ice in his veins, draining 2 free throws to send the Heels to overtime. Then the Heels got sloppy, and I mean 5 turnovers in 5 minutes sloppy. The final straw was a Sterling Manley turnover with 3 seconds left on a desperation position by the Heels to end the game. Sadly, the Wolfpack took home the overtime victory 95-91. The Heels followed up a 2-0 week with an 0-2 week, because of course they did. And basketball analyst Michael Coe is here to break down where it all went wrong. Michael, what did you see on Saturday?
You know, Abby, the biggest thing I saw was 15 NC State threes going into the basket. Fans have been unhappy with the three-point defense this year, as well as Coach Williams, who called this team one of the worst defensive units he's ever had. We all knew the Heels would trend down a little bit since last year because how could they not? But the three-point defense has been astoundingly bad. And at least in the regular season, Carolina isn't traditionally known as a defensive stalwart. Let's save that for the fellas in Charlottesville. Thanks for beating Duke, by the way, guys. But the Heels certainly have to be better if they're to succeed later in the season. Now let's start with the obvious. Alaric Freeman could not be stopped. Freeman came off the bench and set an ACC record for most threes made without a miss, going 7 for 7. And the thing is, most of his threes are pretty easy looks. The fact that the Heels knew Freeman was still hot and they still didn't get a hand in his face to guard him is very worrying to me. And now let's take a look at this play. State has an inbound on the baseline, and look, Braxton Beverly is unmarked. The pass goes straight to him and he drains the three. You hate to see it, Abby. Roy Williams was not impressed.
Gave him too many open looks, but you know, Andrew, when he was in there, he came out and really challenged great, but it still went in. Alaric had one that we really challenged that it still went in, but you know, it's hard to go 7 for 7 when there's no defense out there on the court.
And it doesn't get any easier now. Tuesday night, the now 19th ranked Heels will visit Little John Coliseum and take on Clemson again, and the number 20 Tigers will be out for blood. If the Heels wanted to escape hot shooting, they'd be playing someone other than the Tigers. Remember, Clemson knocked down 15 consecutive shots against UNC earlier in the season. Carolina was lucky enough to nab a win on the Dean Dome floor, but Little John is notorious for being a hostile environment. Joel Berry had a career night at Clemson last year with 31, and the Heels will need all of that again to win.
Well, Michael, it doesn't sound like you're too confident for tomorrow night.
Yeah, Abby, I wish I could say that I think the Heels can win, but, you know, just seeing how Carolina has performed of late and how close the first Clemson game was, I can't see a victory. Sorry, guys.
Well, given your terrible prediction history, I'd say all signs point to a UNC win. Dropping knowledge while the Heels are dropping games, that's basketball analyst Michael Coe. Thanks, Michael.
After toppling Duke on Sunday, the women's basketball team returned in action at Virginia Thursday, hoping to string some wins together. This outing wasn't what the Tar Heels were hoping for. The Cavaliers jumped out on an early lead thanks to some lights-out shooting from beyond the arc. North Carolina did its best to keep the game close, but Virginia wasn't having it. Watch here as UVA asserts itself even further with a buzzer beater. A 15-point halftime lead seemed daunting, but the Tar Heels overcame a 19-point deficit against Duke. They didn't have enough time this time, however, as Virginia cruised to an 82-70 victory. This loss dropped UNC to a 4-4 in the ACC and 14-7 overall.
When Tar Heel made a name for himself in the Senior Bowl,
several NFL teams might want to invest in some Stewart stock this coming draft.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. What? Picking a college, man. You and us go together like tacos and Tuesday. And I love tacos.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
We did a summer show. We are live. Coming up on the October 16th edition of Sports Extra, a huge announcement from the NCAA has Carolina fans breathing a big sigh of relief. The old banners are still hanging, and the basketball team unveiled a new one in the Dean Dome. And the Cavs came into Keenan and asked, "Hey Tar Heels, need a new daddy?" All that and so much more as Sports Extra starts right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics.
It took everything I had not to bust out laughing.
I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous.
Super Bowl 52 is this weekend, and one Tar Heel will be playing in it. Rookie receiver Matt Collins has had a decent season for the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles, recording 226 total yards and 1 touchdown, including the 64-yard bomb from Carson Wentz in prime time against the Redskins on Monday Night Football. The touchdown also stands as Holland's longest career interception. In the divisional round win against the Falcons, Hollins had a key 9-yard reception, which led to the forced score of Falcons to do this instead of going for the field goal. Heels fans will certainly be cheering on Hollins this weekend. From one bowl to another, former UNC defensive back MJ Stewart competes in the Reese's Senior Bowl Saturday in Mobile, Alabama. He played well, recording 2 assist tackles, one of which you see here. He also made 2 pass breakups, this one preventing a touchdown. Stewart was the top punt returner specialist on the South team, returning 3 punts. His top return was this one for 14 yards. In the end, the South team dominated the North team, winning 45-16. For more about Stewart's future, we bring in NFL draft analyst Paul Beam. Paul, how successful can MJ be in the next level?
Natalie, I think Stewart can have a long and productive career in the pros. At 5 foot 11 inches, Stewart is too small to be an outside corner, but has the speed and coverage skills to be a fabulous slot corner in the NFL. One skill slot corners must have is the ability to get after the QB on the corner blitz, and he showed flashes of that last season, racking up 2 sacks. And when he can't get home, he has the ability to knock the ball down at the line of scrimmage. Obviously, Stewart's best attribute is his coverage skills. Since 2005, no ACC corner has had more passes defensed in his career than Stewart has. According to CBS Sports, Stewart is the 74th overall prospect and the number 7 corner in the 2018 draft class. Depending on team needs, Stewart should go somewhere in the late 2nd to early 3rd round range. Carolina doesn't have any other prospect in the CBS Sports Top 190, but an interesting player to watch on draft day will be linebacker Andre Smith. Smith surprised a lot of people when he declared for the draft after missing the majority of his junior season due to injury. He showed flashes of pro potential, so he could get picked up by a team in the late stages of the 7th round, but most likely will be signed as an undrafted free agent. Another guy who gets some looks as an undrafted free agent is guard RJ Prince. Prince said if he doesn't make the NFL, he'll be trying out for the WWE, and as an avid wrestling fan myself, I'd love to see another Tar Heel donning some brightly colored tights in the ring. Back to you, Natalie.
I think Prince has two pretty solid career options. That's NFL draft analyst Paul Beam in the studio. Thanks, Paul.
The wrestling team hosted Pittsburgh on Friday, trying to move up to 2-0 in the ACC. The Heels got off to a slow start, but after an overtime decision from A.C. Headley, it was all Carolina from there. Ethan Ramos helped break a 10-10 tie and ignited a fire in the Heels, helping UNC to round out the night with an overtime decision from Corey Daniel and a 26-10 team victory. The Heels will travel to Blacksburg this weekend to take on the Virginia Tech Hokies. Speaking of wrestling, the Tar Heel wrestling team has managed to crack the top 25 thanks in no small part to the development of junior Chip Ness. Kat Makeumson has the story.
Chip Ness is a redshirt junior from Duluth, Georgia. He's ranked 15th in the country and wrestles for Carolina in the 184-pound weight class. This season, nothing is stopping him from staying motivated.
I found my passion again, and really the passion for training, and I really just put a lot more effort, a lot more sacrifices.
Ness started wrestling when he was 7 years old, by chance after finding a flyer in his after-school folder.
I remember showing up in jeans and a sweatshirt, and just taking down some pretty decent kid. I guess I've loved it ever since.
In a family of athletes, Ness was constantly inspired to keep pushing himself in his sport.
Whether it's going to from one practice from me and my brother playing football in the same area to watching my sister cheerleading competitions for hours on hours.
Ness didn't leave the family-style environment in Duluth. Here at UNC, he shares an apartment with two teammates, Lance Armenta and Grant Jefferson.
We're roommates, obviously, but we're also he's also sort of an older brother figure to me. He's a guy that he'll kick your ass the entire time, but then afterwards he'll pat you on the back and help you figure out what you're doing wrong.
I'm here in Fetzer Hall where Ness and the rest of the team spend hours training leading up to a match. After a brief tour of the facility, Ness gave me some pointers to help jumpstart my wrestling career. Maybe it's too late in the game for me to make an impression, but Ness has the chance to leave a big mark on those around him.
Being able to All-American and being able to be Georgia's first national champ, those are goals of mine. And now if I could bring that back to Georgia and bring that back to my county and my community, then that would just be a bigger purpose.
This weekend, Ness will take on two-time ACC champion when the Heels travel to Virginia Tech. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kat Makeumson reporting.
Ness has won his past 9 matches and is hoping for number 10 this weekend.
She's a high-jumping phenom in the college ranks.
UNC's Nicole Green is setting the bar high.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
The Carolina gymnastics team took its talents on the road for the first time this season on Friday, competing in a quad meet against Maryland, Townsend, Yale, and Ursinus. The Heels took first place, but not by much. They beat out Townsend for the top spot by less than 1 point. Senior Morgan Lane led Carolina. She competed in the all-around for the first time this season and placed first, coming within points of her career high. The Heels head on the road again later this week to take on New Hampshire on Friday.
NC State came into Corey Auditorium Friday evening, and once again, the hometown fans left not too happy. This was the last dual meet of the season and also served as senior night for 15 senior swimmers, divers, and student managers. The meet started out strong for the Heels with an early victory in the women's 200-yard medley relay. The Tar Heel men gave it all they had, winning 4 events, including a sweep in diving. But the Heels just couldn't keep up with the Wolfpack. Maybe all the luck is in NC State's spirit wear. The third-ranked NC State men defeated the Heels 186-109, and the 14th-ranked Wolfpack women outperformed the Tar Heel women 164-136. And on Saturday at Duke, it was same swim, second first for the Heels. Carolina had 5 top performers on the men's side, with Valdez Abolitska, Alvin Jang, and Henry Campbell nabbing 2 victories each in their events. Also coming up with individual wins were Tom Bilden and Chris Thames. For the women's side, Caroline Baldwin and Maria Lohman led the way with 2 individual wins each. Baldwin and Brooke Bauer set new pool records, but both the men and women took home a loss. The Tar Heels next participate in the Janice Hape Dowd Nike Invitational on February 2nd.
The track and field team traveled to Clemson during this weekend to compete in the Bob Pollock Invitational, and the Heels did not disappoint. In total, 7 individuals, 1 Tar Heel relay claimed top 3 finishes. Nicole Green dominated the competition and won the women's high jump by 5 inches, clearing the 1.85 meter mark. Daryl Shaw and Zay Pascal finished second and third in the men's triple jump, and Shaw leaped 15.64 meters and Pascal was 0.2 meters behind his teammate. The women's 4x400 relay race, the team finished third, with a time that's second fastest in the conference and top 15 nationally. Saturday in the Heels' last home meet of the season. With performances like that, the UNC track and field team has been off to a hot start this year, and one athlete has taken the country by storm. Johnny Lossie has more.
Nicole Green has learned to wait her turn, whether that means preparing for a jump or adjusting through years of practice. The junior from Ponte Vedra, Florida, has had to grind through ups and downs, but that work is finally paying off.
I'm really excited for what the future holds, and I know greater things are coming. I don't want to put a mark on anything, but I'm super excited.
The first meet of the season is considered a tune-up, so Green expected to jump about the same height she did in Nationals last year, where she cleared 6 foot and 1/2 inch to place 5th in the country. But her coach could sense something special in the air.
I knew during her warm-ups it was going to be a good day, because I watched her do a couple things in warm-ups. I'm like, okay, we might be doing something special today.
Hudson's hunch was correct, though she never told Green. They don't talk about the height until after she's cleared the bar. That bar was raised to 6 feet and 2 inches. Green whiffed on her first attempt, and she couldn't adjust on her second either. It was her last jump. Same routine, 3 steps, long strides, and she sets the top mark in the country.
I would always say to myself and people who ask that, like, I wanted to get 6'2", I wanted the school record, I want to win nationals, but in the back of my mind it was always like, it seemed so far, it seemed it wasn't attainable. But after hitting 6'2" and feeling better at the 6'3" jumps, that made things more like real.
Green says patience wasn't always a virtue of hers, but time and effort have made her future very bright. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jonah Lossie, reporting.
Only had 1 female athlete win a high jump national championship, but Nicole Green is looking to add her name to the history books.
He's one of the most successful coaches in any sport, anywhere.
Coach Anson is prancing his way into the Hall of Fame.
High school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Natalie, when you think about Hall of Fame coaches at Carolina, several come to mind. Roy Williams, Dean Smith, even Mac Brown.
One more coach just added to this prestigious list recently. Morgan Kane has more.
41 seasons, 22 national championships, nearly 1,000 wins. Nobody dominates women's soccer quite like Anson Dorrance.
First of all, he's a legend. Countless national championships.
A legend who began his career at UNC wearing the light blue jersey himself. Dorrance transitioned from player to coach, beginning his tenure with the men's team, coaching some of the athletes he played with.
They gave me a chance really early that I didn't deserve. Obviously, it was a coach that believed in me and an athletic director that was willing to take a risk. I really appreciated that.
Fast forward 41 seasons, Dorrance gets inducted into the United Soccer Coaches Hall of Fame, the organization he says he respects the most.
These people are extraordinarily generous with their commitment to the game and the development of the game and the people in the game. I guess from that perspective, being in that Hall of Fame means the world to me.
Upon hearing of Dorrance's induction, Ohio State's women's coach, Lori Walker-Hawk, had to congratulate her former coach and offer up some words of wisdom.
A master in the art of living draws no sharp distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his education and his recreation. He simply pursues his vision of excellence through whatever he is doing and leaves others to determine whether he is working or playing. To himself, he always appears to be doing both. And I read it, and instantly I was like, this is Anson.
Despite being one of the best in the game, Dorrance says winning isn't his sole priority.
I'm in the human development business as a coach at the University of North Carolina. And even though, yes, we would certainly like to continue to win national championships, I think I've got a higher calling.
Lucky for UNC, Dorrance and his human development business are here to stay. I'm Megan Kane reporting.
As you may know, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Who is your pick this year?
I'm going Eagles all the way. I am not a fan of the Patriots, and don't at me on that.
I couldn't agree more. And, my birthday is February 1st, so a few times I've been blessed to have Super Bowl Sunday on my birthday. So a few different causes to come together and eat a bunch of food, honestly. But that does it for this edition of Sports Extra. Thanks for watching.
Good night.